League of An Arab had no individual responsibilities. If an Arab murdered anyone, the tribe of the murdered would revenge his death not from the individual but the whole tribe. A tribe and not the individual concerned had to face all the consequences. When the Bedouins became dwellers of the city of Mecca, such methods of revenge became invalid. There was neither police nor court in Mecca. Every tribe settled its accounts that never trespassed the tribal limits. However, if there was any intrusion from outside, all Quraysh tribes would form an alliance against their common enemy. If any Bedouin was offended in Mecca, he could only have his tribal members to avenge his woe for him. Whenever that tribe reached Mecca, it would find itself facing 10 tribes. That was the reason an outsider, when wronged in Mecca, was helpless to get justice and take revenge. An Arab historian Sahili writes that once an Arab came to Mecca with his young daughter, to buy some merchandise from Ukaz market. A rich Meccan merchant had her abducted. The poor father had no choice but to get back to the desert to fetch his tribe to help him to liberate his daughter. The abductor was aware that her tribesmen were helpless as their number was too small to face him, therefore he refused to return the daughter. When Muhammad, may Allah bless him and grant him peace, came to know about the incident, he asked the youth of the Quraysh to join. When Muhammad, may Allah bless him and grant him peace, came to know about the incident, he asked the youth of the Quraysh to join against such barbarism in Mecca. Some volunteers who favored the victim, gathered in Mecca and took oath, "We swear to support the wrong to the extent so as to compel the oppressor to repay his right. We also swear to do this irrespective of any greed and whether the aggrieved is rich or poor." Having decided, after an earnest discussion, that it was imperative to find an order of chivalry for the furtherance of justice and the protection of the weak, they went in a body to the holy Kaaba where they poured water over the black stone and let it flow into a receptacle. Each man drank this water and with their right hands raised above their heads they vowed that henceforth, at every act of oppression in Mecca, they would stand together as one man on the side of the oppressed against the oppressor until justice was done, whether the oppressed was a man of Quraysh or one who had come from abroad. The chief of Taym, Zubayr of Hashim and his nephew Muhammad, may Allah bless him and grant him peace, were the founders of this order. Muhammad, may Allah bless him and grant him peace, took part in the oath and said in after years, "I was present in the house of Abdullah ibn Judan at so excellent a pact that I would not exchange my part in it. I would gladly respond to any call and help." Another of those present was their host's first cousin, Abu Quhafa of Taym, together with his son Abu Bakr ar-Da'eh, who was 3 years older than Muhammad, may Allah bless him and grant him peace, and who was to become his closest friend. The formation of this voluntary organization marked the beginning of the first human rights organization. Its name, the League of the Just, was very befitting of its objectives. Muhammad, may Allah bless him and grant him peace, along with other members of the League of the Just went to the merchant who had kidnapped the girl. They surrounded his house and demanded immediate release of the girl to her father. The merchant asked for one night's respite that was not granted. He was forced to free the girl at the very moment. Once Abu Hahal bought some merchandise from a stranger but did not pay him. The stranger was not aware of the existence of Half al-Feudal or League of the Just. He, in despair, returned home as his tribe was helpless against the unity of the 10 Quraysh tribes. When Muhammad, may Allah bless him and grant him peace, found out about this, he went to Abu Hahal and compelled him to pay for the merchandise, which he did. Later, whenever any stranger was wronged in Mecca, he sought the help of the volunteers of Hilf al-Feudal. Afterwards, the Prophet, may Allah bless him and grant him peace, used to say that he had always felt much pleasure and exaltation while taking part in the activities of this organization. The formation of this organization before Muhammad's, may Allah bless him and grant him peace, prophethood bears considerable significance. This league had brought a revolution in the Arabian system of justice and shaken the idea of tribal revenge. In Arabia one could not even think of the accountability of an oppressor. The aggrieved could only have justice if he had a strong tribe or his tribesmen could charge ransom. Otherwise the grieved had to forego his rights. The society of that period had become used to such injustice. The formation of Half al-Feudal or the League of the Just by Muhammad, may Allah bless him and grant him peace, teaches all human beings to always support the aggrieved against the oppressor, whether he has a weak tribe or no one to die for him. It is astonishing to note that the United Nations Charter for Human Rights was framed after it came into existence in 1948, i.e. nearly 1,400 years after the first Charter of League of the Just was written and signed by the Prophet, may Allah bless him and grant him peace.